Thanks, Ms. Neary. Every senator and the nominees all know the process that led to this moment. But for those who may not, there is a process of review at several different levels, which very few Americans could pass with flying colors, and these nominees all did. First, their name was nominated. They were investigated by the White House. The investigation then went to the next level, including FBI, security questions, to make certain that there were no questions about their integrity or backgrounds. In addition to that, the American Bar Association does a query of their friends, colleagues, professional and otherwise, to get the impression of the community and decide whether or not they would be judged qualified, which each and every one of them was. A couple were judged well qualified, and then they made it to the table here. After our staff, on a partisan basis, goes through the same resumes and tries to find out the questions or raise any questions they might have about a person's background. Then each member of the committee has that same opportunity. So you can see this is a lengthy and very specific process that has to be cleared before they can reach this table and ultimately ascend to the bench, which we hope will happen. I, as an aside, would tell you that several years ago, many years ago, I had a visit in my office from a man who was chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And among the questions I asked him was, what was your educational background to be chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission? He says, I majored in music history. Music history. I thought, what a curious thing to lead to the SEC. Well, among our nominees is Ms. Davenport, who graduated from New Mexico State University with a bachelor's in music and was a music teacher before going to law school, and then became a prosecutor. She went from professor to prosecutor. Can you tell me about your background in music? That's the most curious lead into a judgeship that I can remember.
Certainly, Chairman Durbin. I went to college thinking that I would become a high school choral director. And during undergrad, I worked at a church and taught children and youth music and learned that the administrative part of music took all of the joy and fun of music out of it for me. And I did not want, nor could I survive without music providing joy in my life. And so I found a different path, and that led me to the law. And
your legal experience includes serving as prosecutor?
Yes, that's correct. I went to law school and then became a prosecutor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Neary, you represented the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and FTC versus Penn State Hershey Medical Center. The Commonwealth, along with the FTC, sued to block a merger with the Pinnacle Health System. Can you tell us about that case?
Thank you, Chair Durbin. Yes, that was one of two very important cases I worked on during my career that involved health care and providing the care to many people across Pennsylvania. In that particular case, we were working to make sure that no hospital became a monopoly in order to maintain prices in Pennsylvania, to ensure affordable health care in central Pennsylvania for those who live there. The other case that I referenced is a case involving two large insurance companies in Pennsylvania and the hospital systems that participated in those insurance companies. And through my work on behalf of the Commonwealth, we were able to garner an agreement that resulted in affordable health care for many Pennsylvanians in the western part of the state.
Thank you very much. Mr. Brindisi, your background includes service in Congress and then on the bench. Can you compare those legal experiences?
Thank you, Chair Durbin. I can tell you that one thing that I take away from being in Congress for 2 years that I have taken to the bench, although there are many differences, is the ability to be a good listener. When I served here, my goal was always to try and work with both sides to get things done, and that involves sitting down with individuals sometimes you may disagree with and listening to their ideas and thoughts on a particular bill. And that's a skill that I have taken to the bench, actively listening to the lawyers and litigants who come before me, making sure that they feel respected and heard when they enter the courtroom and walk away knowing that I listened to them, and whatever happens, that they got a fair and impartial judge to hear their case.
Thank you. Ms. Coombs, doubt that there are many who come before us seeking the judgeship who can point to 40 civil and criminal trials which they've been a part of. You are one. Can you tell us your experience and what you've learned from that, and why there's so few trials today, at least on the civil level?
Thank you, Chair Durbin. I was very fortunate to start my career in the District of Columbia, where I had a large number of bench trials and also jury trials. And I've also been lucky to have a lot of trials in the Northern District of New York. I love being in the courtroom, presenting cases to juries and seeing the power of a jury work its magic, ordinary citizens coming together to decide important questions. And I think that my experience as a trial lawyer in front of juries will be helpful if I am fortunate enough to be confirmed. I will bring that practical experience from the courtroom with me.
Thank you. Mr. Desai, your story of your family's journey to America is inspiring, as are so many stories. I appreciate your sharing with us. And Ms. Johnson, certainly our thanks to your parents for serving our country so well. Senator Graham?